Previously on Solo Hunters.
I got stuck, buried the truck in a bog. Sometimes that happens where the trip goes from a fun hunting trip to a survival trip. I like to create my own adventures. It's gonna be a beautiful hunting day if this stops raining. I just spotted a bull tar up this basin. It'd been nice to shoot him and then I'd have something to eat, but I'm gonna go after him, spend the night on the mountain, and it's gonna be pretty dang miserable. Oh. And 762 yards away, one shot, dropped him. This is all 100% do it yourself, public land. I know that kind of stuff gets hammered over and over, but this is in New Zealand. Home free.
Solo Hunters is being brought to you by Muzzy Broadheads, bad to the bone. Carbon Express, shoot better. Gorilla Safety Harness, get it on. Quest Bow Hunting, the bow hunter's bow. Badlands Packs, unconditional performance. And Campbell Cameras, relive your adventure.
That was a mess. That was a big time mess.
Those muzzies, little number.
So everything you do, you gotta do by yourself. There's nobody for 50 miles.
When I don't have enough food, I just get a little on edge. My favorite backpacking food, dead animal. We survived. I missed the sheep with my bow. Now I'm pissed.
First morning of the hunt, some stag. Moving up through here, we're just gonna get out and do a little bit of glassing. Beautiful area, reminds me of home, you know. Rolling hills and what looks like sagebrush, but it's grass. Get some glassing in, hopefully find a stag to go after with a bow. Pull the old quest out and go on a quest. Bunch of deer up here on this ridge. There's one small stag that was with them. Smaller, he's a 5x6 or 5x5. So I've got the bow and I've got the rifle. This is pretty big open country. And I only want to spend a day or two here after the stag because I want to hit to the back country and get after the tar. So I'm going to bring the rifle and the bow and see if this stag's worth shooting or maybe run into something else on the way. But saw a couple fallow deer. It's just beautiful up here. So I'm going to move on up this ridge and see if I can find something worth shooting. Here's the dilemma. Seems like there's always a dilemma. We got plenty of time to go up and go after the stag, but I'd really like to get to the high country and go after tar. It's about 9 o'clock, so I know that if I go after this stag, then my day's spent hunting stag. Or if I back out now, I've got enough time to get down and meet up with Remy and drive the 5 hours that it's gonna take, and packing into camp and everything, get there late tonight for tar for the rest of the week, so this stag's probably gonna bed down. Decision time. Either we go back right now and kill him and go up and try to kill him. Been walking up this draw for quite a while. We've got him up in that thick stuff. I'm just gonna go up over this little saddle here. And it's getting late enough that he's probably in bed, but I'm gonna stop and get a little drink here in this creek. But if I don't see him over in that other ravine, I'm just gonna go back down out. And here's a good look of the valley. Started way down there in the green fields. This is free-ranging stag. But it's pretty good. Let me pick my way up over through this hill.
Right up over that saddle.
The official knives of solo hunters are from Outdoor Edge. Quality knives and tools for the big game hunter.
You know, my first initial reaction was, shoot, I'm just gonna shoot one out of the truck. Right over the saddle, I'm gonna try to find a shady spot and crawl over. Should be within a couple hundred yards. He's in rifle territory now. Solo Hunters is being brought to you by Big Green Targets. Go big, go green.
Nope, still a good shadow.
If I go this way,
It's got a pretty good shape. I mean, you want it up higher? You look mean and lean. Oh.
this New Zealand trip kind of came up quick for me. It was not totally unexpected, but I knew that there was a possibility, and then when Remy called and said that there was some availability, I kind of took a leap of faith and jumped on it. And a TAR mostly has been one of the things that I've wanted for a long time. I mean, a TAR's been #1 on my list for probably 10 or 15 years, so being able to come over here, I mean, what better opportunity than to hunt with one of your own solo hunters and be able to go and do a free range public land hunt. So that was definitely going to be the key and the highlight of this trip for me. Even after I landed and we're driving from the airport, Remy and I are talking, I still hadn't decided if I wanted to go and hunt a stag or not, because I just wanted to get after the TAR. But after getting to the farmhouse and everything, my mind was made up. That night there was nothing but roars and bugles and stuff going on, because they had just separated the calves from the cows, and so all the ruckus from the ranch was causing those stag to just roar. And so I kind of made up my mind to go after a stag the next morning. First off, there was a stag in the middle of the field, and I thought, am I going to shoot this thing right out of the field? I kind of hope not. I want to hunt him. And Remy just kind of gave me that cheese-ass grin that he has. He's like, oh, you'll be hunting, don't worry. And sure enough, as soon as we got up there, they busted off, and I didn't pack a lunch, and I didn't pack water, because I thought, my first initial reaction was, shoot, I'm just going to shoot one out of the truck like everybody else does. That's what it's like, though, through all this thick stuff. It's pretty open on one side, and then it's pretty thick on the other. Saddle. I'm gonna try to find a shady spot and crawl over. Should be within a couple hundred yards. He's in rifle territory now. He's no chance of getting him with a bow in there. It's too big.
So one of the things about solo hunters is there's no real camera crew to follow you around. How does that play into like the things you film? How do you decide what to film, and how do things get captured when you're hunting?
Not having a camera crew or a designated cameraman with you on some of these solo hunts, I kind of choose not to, just because I like that aspect of the hunt. But this year I made the switch to going from my Canon S21 to I'm packing around an SLR to Canon 60D. I wanted to up my video quality a little bit. I spent a little bit more time stabilizing the camera, getting things in focus, because before it was like pop out the S21, push record, and just go. With the move to the outdoor channel, I really wanted to solidify, the footage quality that I have out there, and I think the SLR is helping me to be able to do that. So it's a lot harder to pull the SLR out of the bag, make sure you're in focus, check your audio and all that, and do the recording. It's really easy to just pull out the GoPro and do that stuff and then talk over later. In the Bag is brought to you by Badlands Packs, unconditional performance for unconventional hunters.
I was probably about 15 or 16 the first time I switched from aluminum arrows to Carbon Express arrows. And I actually will never forget the first 2 Carbon Express arrows I ever shot, because the first 2 I shot, I Robin Hooded. I remember when they first came out with the camo wrap pattern on the arrow, I was pretty stoked about it. I thought they were the coolest looking arrows. The first deer that I shot with one of the camo wrapped arrows was this mule deer my summer after high school. It was a 2-week long backpack trip, and I did it all solo. Ended up killing that buck at over 12,000 feet elevation by myself. You know, back then solo hunting wasn't some buzzword or cool term. It's just what you did when you had nobody else that could hunt that long with you. I've got like a whole box of arrows that just mean different things to me that I've used from over the years, over 10 years of using Carbon Express.
Solo Hunters is brought to you by Carbon Express. Shoot better. Shoot Carbon Express.
If you sandbag it and kind of wuss out and stay down here at the hut the whole hunt, you might see some tar, but they're going to be at the tops of the mountains and you're not going to be able to go after them. You're going to come away from it with a subpar.
Solo Hunters is brought to you by Moultrie, Total Game Management.
Well, got him hammered. 270 yards. It's kind of a cluster. I filmed it with my SLR, but just changed out my lens. Had enough time to get the extender lens out there on him. Got some great footage, I think. Not much pre-roll of him other than earlier this morning, but I don't care. The sun was just glistening off of this rack. Had nice and steady. Smashed it. Now I gotta manage my way across this ravine, get over there. I think we were pretty lucky to get this stag into an area where he was approachable, and you know, being able to sneak up over and see him pushing the hinds around and be able to put a shot on was pretty awesome. To hold that stag was kind of a dream come true. You know, a free range stag. Wasn't the giant of the mountain, but you know, my thing is I like to be able to hunt an animal. And yeah, you know, some of you may be saying, gosh, that was a one-day hunt, that wasn't much of a hunt. Well, a lot of hunts are one-day hunts. You can go up and kill a bighorn sheep or a mountain goat or a tar in one day, but you still are hunting them and working your butt off for it. So, a couple cameras set up here. Got the GoPro. So I got the S21 right there. GoPro on my head. SLR. Crazy sucker. Got kind of a personal challenge between me and Remy. So you can churn out the best footage. First trip to New Zealand, my first stag. He's got this awesome point here that's really long. I mean, I was trying to get him with my bow, but once he got up here in this thick stuff, he was pushing those hinds around a bunch, so just decided to pull out the rifle and make it happen. I only wanted to spend one day, maybe 2, chasing these stag. Remy and I are going to get our packs and go pack back into the backcountry and head after some tar. These are a free-ranging stag. They are on private land. This is private land. I mean, shoot, how would you like to own a mountainside? But just a fun hunt. Just poked up over this little saddle, 270 yards. Got the camera set up, and I thought I messed up. I mean, I was working really hard to get multiple camera angles, and I'm filming with my SLR for the first time on an actual hunt, and everything came together luckily. I mean, with a rifle it was a little bit easier than with a bow, but man, I'm just glad that it happened, and I'm just excited to not head back to the States empty-handed. Now all I got to do is get back down to the bottom and get back and get some help and get this thing off the mountain.
I stole Tim's camera. Is there a mic sign that says M by it, or is that? No. On. I don't know if this is in focus. like old Timmy got himself a stag. Came down and got me and came up and helped him get it out. He's got the horns up there and he's just moving along. It's nice 6x6. It looks like it had a broken off tine, but it's a good free range stag. Part of it, you know, you see all these stag on hunting TV or whatever, and just monster stag everywhere, but that's just not free range stag in New Zealand. A lot of people maybe don't know that, maybe it hasn't been mentioned before, but if it's a real big stag, it's in the high fence. They just don't grow like that in the wild. You know, just pretty much like anywhere. But there's some really good free range stag hunting. I have some here on this ranch. It's all free range, no fences. These aren't pen raised stag, and it's a great hunt. You know, you can give me a call and come out and do like Tim did here. Come out and hunt with me and one of my guides, and hunt in the free range stag here. Or even we can go shoot some big stag. I don't care. But this is a fun hunt. Tim will have to watch the video. It looks like he did pretty good for himself, so I'm pretty excited. He's just pretty excited about it. I just kind of let him come up here and tromp around my property. But you know, it's being an outfitter here in New Zealand and in the States. You know, we get to see a lot of stag, and this is by far one of the premier stag hunting properties on the island. If you want to do it wild, free range, this is the place. You can also get them on the public, but that's tough, boy. Pretty much a little bit of everything for everyone, so let's keep up with him. Can't let him beat me to the truck.
This week's Solo Hunter Challenge comes from Barrett Haugen of Bozeman, Montana.
Well, here we are, bear hunting, and nothing. I found a few antlers is about all. Got my first bear. Heck yeah. She's laying right there. Yikes. I've never ever got a bear before in my life, so I'm actually really excited.
Learn more about finding your career in the outdoor television industry and sign up for professional classes at Campbell Cameras. Solo Hunters is brought to you by Caribou Gear and Hunting House Rifle Covers, your gun's best protection against the elements.
You'd get prosecuted pretty heavily in the States for driving up a river like that, but here in New Zealand, I mean, anything's go, so. Remy, the master guide for this unguided hunt.
For more information on our approved solo outfitters, go to Outland Outfitters and MontanaOutWest.com. Solo Hunters is being brought to you by Muzzy Broadheads, bad to the bone. Carbon Express, shoot better. Gorilla Safety Harness, get it on. Quest Bow Hunting, the bow hunter's bow. Badlands Packs, unconditional performance. And Campbell Cameras, relive your adventure.
So tell me about the drive into this valley, what you're thinking, and what it was like just driving into this area.
Right. Well, I looked at the map ahead of time, and you said that it was going to take 5 or 6 hours, and I couldn't get that many miles out of it. And then once we got to the head of the river and head of the canyon, I found out real quick why it takes so long, because you're basically driving up the river. You'd get prosecuted pretty heavily in the States for driving up a river like that, but here in New Zealand, I mean, anything's go, so. Remy, the master guide for this unguided hunt. He's kind of doing an exploration this year. This is kind of a reconnaissance mission to be bringing in hunters and offering them the ability to do like a drop camp so that they can get up in some of this country on their own if they choose to. So. No, not really.
I'll drop you off.
Drop you off anywhere, but this is some pretty bad country, pretty bad, so We're gonna go up this canyon right there. Maybe back here. We spotted a tar over here too, but we'll make a plan first thing in the morning and go split up and do some hunting. Hunting and filming, see how it turns out.
Bull tar.
Bull tar.
No new one.
I think I'm
Good spot.
got a new one in a good spot. Let's get the camera.
That's what we like to see. Tell me a little bit about if somebody else was thinking about doing a drop camp type hunt.
It definitely takes someone that has both physical stamina and ability to get up to the tops of these mountains and be prepared to stay for a day or two depending on if weather comes in, but also someone with the mental capacity to look over there and say those bulls are a day away, you know, and then go after them. And there's a lot of hunters out there that will do that. It's just a matter of, you know, if this is a hunt that you decide to go do, you got to make sure that you're prepared to do that. You know, if you sandbag it and kind of wuss out and stay down here at the hut the whole hunt, you might see some tar, but they're going to be at the tops of the mountains and you're not going to be able to go after them. You're going to come away from it with a, you know, subpar. I don't think I've ever seen a TV episode of someone, or even read, you know, in a magazine, of anybody coming and doing the beat feet, you know, from the valley floors and you know, basically a regular western mountain style hunt for a tar.
The Solo After Show is brought to you by Survive Outdoors Longer. Expect the unexpected at OutdoorChannel.com.
I packed enough food for 2 days, but I ate all my food just getting up there because I knew that I needed the calories just to get to the top of the mountain. Because had I not stopped and eaten my food, I wouldn't have had the energy to make it. So we had to improvise and do a little tar boiling up at the top, which was a lot like eating a boot, but we survived.